not kind of exaggerating when I say like sport and sporting events changed my life.
I think it's important to enjoy what you do. Find the right event for you. It might not be a triathlon all the time. It's about the preparation, about running together. It's about the conversation you have leading up to the race. How do you do this? What do you do? How do you manage your time? That whole energy strengthens the bond within his family's support system. What we're trying to do is to minimize the breaks in your life so that you can continue to evolve and lead an active lifestyle. If you don't get the right support systems, not many people can get there. You lead by example and people will see and they'll notice you.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Upward Spiral podcast. This is where we explore the power of positive change and continuous improvement to help you create an upward spiral in your own life. Today's episode is going to be truly inspiring, especially if you're passionate about sports, personal growth, and making a difference in the world. In this episode, you'll discover how sports can be a vehicle for personal transformation and community building. We'll delve into the incredible story of a man who turned his passion for sports into a purpose-driven mission, breaking down barriers and creating opportunities for people across Asia. This is for anyone who has ever felt stuck in a rut. Maybe they've yearned for a life of purpose or simply wanted to unleash their full potential. So if you're ready to be inspired and learn how to create your own upward spiral, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Michelle O'Brien. You might already know that I'm a marketer, a mum, an athlete, and an alcohol-free advocate. And my journey, honestly, has taught me the power of positive change. And now I'm here to guide you on your own path to an upward spiral. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome this incredible guest who embodies the spirit of this podcast. He's a former corporate executive who took the leap of faith to pursue his passion for sports. He's a visionary leader who built a thriving business, making profound impact on communities across Asia. He's an advocate for inclusivity, a champion for athletes of all levels, and an inspiration for anyone who dreams of making a difference. Please can I welcome the founder of Orange Room, co-founder of the Great Green Run, and the driving force behind TriFactor, the energetic, the visionary, the incredible Elvin Ting. Elvin, it's such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Michelle. Wow, thanks for the kind intro. It's amazing to be here and love to share a little bit more about my journey.
Oh, I can't wait to get into it. And honestly, it was so hard writing that intro because there were so many more incredible things and achievements that I could put in there.
Yeah, so a lot of people call me how do you manage your time trying to work on so many different things? But I always start with saying, if it's aligned to the same purpose, you keep going.
Yeah. And you're doing all of these things, which we're going to get into, with 3 young children.
Yep, absolutely right. It's again, the support systems of every single individual is different, right? So the family is a very important part of my life. Definitely change. And thank God to 2 crises that I've gone through my entrepreneur journey. It kind of grounded me to make sure that we spend enough time with our family.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I do want to get into those 2 moments because I know that they have been an important part of your journey. But let's go back maybe to the beginning. You have had an interesting career path. You've been from the corporate world into sports and events. So maybe... Yeah, tell us your origin story.
Yeah, so sports has always been my life from start, right? So being a competitive swimmer, so I train and compete at a very competitive level, all the way up to the varsity level, and I joined the workforce just like anyone else. But having said that, as we were going through this journey, I thought that leveraging my skills to empower more people, prevent drowning, and that's why I started to learn how to teach swimming. Right, that's a very, very basic tool. Right, we started teaching in the neighborhood. It started to evolve, getting friends along, and then hula. We had a whole group of swimming coaches, and we started a school. And as per what we do typically in Asia, we got a bachelor's degree. We get a job in the corporate world. We get some experience. So I jumped in the whole corporate bandwagon and big MNC like Hewlett Packard after graduation. Spent a good 6 years of my life learning about corporate structure, learning about growth of an individual, networking, and for the regional fields. I did pretty well, and I jumped onto another corporate role, which is related to the alcohol industry. So in Diageo, and I spent a good part of my life in the supply chain, stuff, and then we left off as the innovation
Mhm.
and brand change across Asia Pacific. Uh, Fast forward into that moment, I was still running the business. I was trying to run it as a social project, trying to get more people to learn how to swim, and then I kind of dabble into a bit of events, right? So helping people to celebrate moments like birthday parties and maybe D&Ds, and that triggers thought, hey, that's the moment that everyone looks out for. The moment that we can come together and have fun. And it kind of spiraled a thought that why not we create an events company, right?
Mhm.
Events company called Orange Room, where we give birth and bring different communities together with a common purpose and have fun and celebrate life in that way. We run it as a passion project, community driven. Basically, it's cost neutral through a couple of years. And through my stint of managing my corporate life in Diageo, trying to grow my corporate career, my personal growth, I started to continue to give back to the community by driving the business and maintaining a very minimal workforce while delivering a purpose. I think the trigger hits when I had my kids. My first kid came about. It wasn't easy. It was life changing at the moment. We were preparing for a kid, and then things didn't work out for the first kid, and we lost the kid, right? But with that moment, it taught me, guys, let's keep trying, let's keep going. So I had my first born, right? He's about 10 this year. It's fantastic. It's the love of my life, right? So he changed the way I looked at things, and when we started to have a second kid, I thought, guys, it's enough. We need to make a change. We need to focus on my life. We have to choose, and not do we go the dark side, which is in the alcohol and the corporate side, or we go to the light side, where we go into the sports wellness, where we
Yeah.
empower and bring more communities together. It was tough. I have to say, it was not easy in Singapore, where we need to maintain a certain standard of living. The cost of living is pretty high, and we took a significant pay cut just trying to get out of the corporate world into the entrepreneur journey. And bang, it started from there. And
Mm.
my second kid was born, and the journey starts.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's actually quite a few things to unpack there. But let's talk a little bit about the aha moment. Like what made you think, you know what, I actually want to take this leap from corporate into something I'm really passionate about and something that has more meaning.
Well, yeah, the aha moment came when in corporate, when we in the leadership team, we spent a lot of time trying to find our purpose, right?
Mm.
Where do we live? What do we want to do in life? What grounds you? I came up with three letters, right? Three I's, right? To influence, to inspire someone with an impact, right?
Mm.
And I left the three I's as my key purpose that drives me every day. The aha moment came when we will have our second son, and I said, no, guys, we're gonna do it now or never, right? So I took a leap of faith. I actually resigned without a end date, right? I had a resignation letter, but I didn't put a when is my last day in the corporate. So I kept going, kept going, kept going, and after a while, I was like, guys, I'm still here after I resigned for 6 months ago, right? So we make a rational decision over the new year and stop in February in 2016,
Mm.
sorry, and then we carry on to pursue my sports business.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. And when we'd spoken before, I think you'd said something to me like, um, I I wanted to live a life of purpose. I wanted to live, you know, true meaning. I wanted to have true meaning in my life. Um, were you not getting that from a corporate role?
I do, I do. However, I think I would say a small percentage of my life revolves around corporate. I really appreciate the opportunity to learn about structure,
Mm.
about the network, about how the world function. But I could not activate and channel my energy to create a positive impact,
Yeah.
which is really tied to my purpose. I was obviously constrained with regulation, policies, and government, everything coming out of that structure. We had a clean piece of paper in the entrepreneur journey. So we went straight into the community, bringing different communities together through the events that we organize. We could see smiling faces. We could see thank you messages at the end of the day. We can see now in the digital world, we see many different posts on social media. That keeps us going and going. It was really interesting trying to turn a social project that we had into a business, right? It wasn't easy. There were definitely a lot of trade-offs, right? When we need to consider things like how much resources we put into creating the experience of different communities and what they seek in an event, right? So there were a lot of learnings, a lot of hard knocks that we have gone through.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the aha moment, to summarize, it was a real build up where we really discovered my purpose with the 3 I's. The trigger was my second kid. I was very blessed into my life, and I never stopped looking back.
And it's been a journey, hasn't it?
Wow. Yeah. So I started by talking about the two setbacks that we had. I could almost I could almost cry, and I mean, and how if we made mistakes like that, some were driven through inexperience, getting into the entrepreneur journey, by trying to scale up too fast. The other one, obviously, is the black swan events like the COVID-19 pandemic, which obviously impacted not only myself but the community around us.
Let's get into them a little bit.
Sure.
Let's get into I don't want to reveal anything, even though you've told me about it. So go on, tell us just a little bit how it's gone from, the vision that maybe you had at the beginning when you left corporate, and what happened between then and now.
I guess when we first started, we had the vision to connect different communities around, or to be really inclusive. We want to bring using sports as a medium, right? So we created a brand called TriFactor back in 2009. My God, it's been 16 years since the first birth of the first TriFactor event in Singapore. The concept was very simple. We wanted to bring different like-minded communities together to act on something that have a common interest. And through a sporting event, they could actually perform at the start line, and we could see, competitive swimmers, first timers, people who could even never swim and learn how to actually join us in Sentosa when we actually have our race. Our first race there in 2009, and leveraging what we have built in different communities and trying to cross-pollinate and exchange ideas, and hopefully, and that actually inspired them to grow, right? Not only from a technical and functional way. I learned how to ride a bike. But they also grow their network. They grow their mindset about not keeping within the very comfort zone that they've been in, right? I've been very fortunate. Being a swimmer all my life, I spent a lot of hours in the pool. However, I know someone who could not even learn how to cycle. I learned cycling very late in my life, and I managed, inspired through some incidents that was given to me. I wasn't forced. I was called upon to participate in a triathlon relay early days. The funny thing is, I could swim. I couldn't cycle, so after the swim, I hand over the chip to someone else to take on the bike and the run route. And I was looking around, and this is quite cool. And but never in my teen years to ever dream about doing a triathlon. And I thought that this sport is quite interesting, and it was pretty premature in 2009, right? It's been 9 years since the first Sydney Olympics in triathlon, so the sport's still growing itself. So we thought, hey, why don't we get more people into the sport? And then TriFactor was born.
And so TriFactor is 4 events.
It started out with 4 events. It was a simple concept. We wanted to inspire swimmers to cycle. So we had a swimming event, right? Just get them active in the TriFactor event calendar. We have the cyclists who do the TriFactor bike events, the TriFactor run events for the runners. And then we had a 4th event, which is a triathlon, which is called 3-in-1.
Yeah. And so I'm a runner, as you know. I love riding a bike, but I'm really scared of the roads here, particularly in Singapore. But I absolutely hate swimming.
Yep.
Does everyone feel like that? Does everyone have one that they just don't like?
Absolutely. And the beauty of how we explain triathlon is not just, it's always something that you're not good at. All right. You always have a dominant kind of discipline, whether you're a stronger swimmer or stronger runner. And then we spend time to seek growth about yourself, learning how to swim a bit more, or joining another community to do a Sunday swim, or going online to seek information about what to do better. Right. So that continual growth helps someone to keep motivated and keep proceeding on. So we're happy that, we have people who join us for 15 years, right, in our community, right? We don't have much land in Singapore. We had our triathlon event in East Coast Park for the last 15 years. I mean, minus COVID, a couple of years we didn't have it. But fundamentally, it's the same race course. But it's very, very inspiring to see why this individual trying to come in year on year, trying to do the same course. And when we have conversations with our community, and he came back and said, this is what keeps me going. It inspires me to get out of bed, right? I love the friends. I love the challenge. I'm getting older, but doesn't mean I'm getting slower. Some of them coming to me.
Yeah, I hear that all the time, actually. It's on my radar one day. And I'm probably in the best place to do it because at least the swim is like not freezing cold.
Absolutely. I think there are various challenges. I think it's really about mindset. We talk about it's not about completing a triathlon. It's about the mindset, about understanding how to cope your fear and addressing it. There are many ways and many hacks to do that. But I think the easiest start to get into it is to join a community.
Yeah.
Right. So and that peer pressure, knowledge transfer, and most important, having fun.
Yeah. And that's it. As my husband very much kind of likes to go to the gym solo and do that, and he can't kind of understand why I like going to kind of classes and boot camps and run with friends, and it's all community and connection.
Yeah. And it's a bit of social accountability, right? So I think in a very fast-paced environment that we live in, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of content. It's very important for us to have some accountability on our goals. And so learning something and growing is not easy, all right? So you talk about mindset. It's really about being very laser focused, and at some point of time, there are trade-offs, right? You trade off alcohol in your journey. I love that whole the mindset of how you've gone through that. For me, we trade off some of our hobbies, right? I used to dive a lot. I love nature. I spent a lot of time diving. I gave that up when we had to trade off with our kids and pursuing our purpose.
When you should say diving, we haven't done any diving since we've had the kids, and we love diving as well. But yeah, I wouldn't have achieved everything that I have in the last couple of years if I hadn't have stopped drinking. I last year I did Paris Marathon and High Rocks and the Standard Chart and your Great Green Run, which is one of my favorites. And again, yes, if you want to start achieving some of these things, if you want to do a triathlon, then and do it well and enjoy the training and not feel completely drained, then some sacrifices do have to be made.
I won't put it as a sacrifice. I put it as a trade-off, right? Because there's always something better, right? Trying to be optimistic, but I believe that everybody makes the best decision for themselves. And if we're able to show them the pathway, and just what TriFactor as a platform is trying to do, we show you the pathway, and you can grow and level up.
Okay, I love that, because yes, you're absolutely right. And a lot of the time when I talk about the drinking side, I'm always like, it's not deprivation, it's a liberation. Change the mindset. Don't think of it as a sacrifice. Don't think about what you're losing, think about what you're gaining. And it's absolutely that, and gaining kind of your fitness, the community, the sense of achievement. All of those things are just, a million times better than potentially maybe what you're leaving behind.
That's the power and what inspires me every day. That's my North Star, right? Every new person that comes within the TriFactor community gets me going year and day. I love to connect. I hear many stories across when we managed to bring TriFactor across the region. The first year in Thailand, We have people who are, slightly physically handicapped
Mm.
due to accidents that have gone through and how they use sports to recover. Many inspiring stories that we've seen. The people in the Philippines who used to be not as fortunate. They were a little bit getting out poverty through high performance sports.
Yeah.
So this sports as a platform gives a bit of motivation to keep going and growing yourself. So
Yeah.
and that's what TriFactor is living every day.
Yeah. And I love that, like, and so much is so important. And what we were saying when we last spoke is the bringing these events to markets like Vietnam. What was the stat that you said? Was it 5% of people in Vietnam train?
Yeah, so I was statistically there's no national statistics,
Yeah.
but when we did a market and obviously with social media, there's tags about how many
Yeah.
people are active. So in 100 million population, I think we have less than 5% of them that are actively pursuing sports. There are not many facilities around. When we went to Vietnam back in 2018 for the first time to do our TriFactor event in this beautiful beach called Vung Tau, slightly off Ho Chi Minh City, it's
Yeah.
about 1.5 hours. We were struggling, and the people in the community that came about signing up for events belong to a certain class, right? They're probably a little bit more established, they're corporates or they're expats, and,
Expats, yeah.
and we saw where the local community coming along. So when we dig a little bit deeper, and they could not relate on how sports can change their life. So we spent a lot of time educating the market, going to the
Mm.
schools, putting content through social media, trying to understand, hey guys, take the first step, right?
Yeah.
It will change your life. Happy to say that. Fast forward to today, right? We do have a lot of first timers
Mm.
from people like Vietnam. We had an event in October in 2024, just in Cam Gao in Vietnam, where we have kids coming
Oh.
along, right? And we see a lot of them going to swim in the open water for the first time, and we try to make it a bit more or less daunting, inclusive, allow swim device and boys to give them a sense of assurance, and they keep coming back, right?
Yeah.
So it never stops. So it's a trigger, right?
Mm.
I guess at the point of time, TriFactor, we gave a platform, but really the community actually motivate them to take their first leap of faith.
Oh, I love that. I think that's just making it accessible to people across the region is incredible and so important. But the inclusivity as well. So let's talk about the different types of events that you've got and who they're for, because you just touched on kids then a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, let's talk a bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, in a market like Singapore, we have a very fortunate educational system where we have different sports pathway all lined up,
Mm.
leading up to national elite performance
Yeah.
all the way to the Olympics. But in certain markets, they're slightly not accessible,
Hmm.
right? Like in the Philippines, sports may not be part of the educational curriculum. So a lot of people, when they venture into sports, they either had a family history of being a football player, or they came from outside of the country and migrating in, and they have new kids. So it's very, very niche. So what we're trying to do is to use competition to validate why they need to get to train for sports and join sports communities there. So when I created TriFactor as a start, we broke triathlon into 4 parts. So making sure that it's not so daunting for a swimmer to do a triathlon, right? We want to make sure, okay, this year, for the first year, you just swim. For the second year, maybe you swim and run.
Yeah.
The third year, you swim, run, and then bike, and you finish triathlon. And that keeps you going and keep you very focused, and directs you to the right community to learn more and grow within the sport. Uh, Naturally, within the events that we do, we start to realize that there are many people who can swim really far, but they want to start small. So this weekend, right, in Singapore, we're having a little aquathlon with the youth, where we have 200-meter swim in the pool and a 500-meter run around the track. Highly doable,
Yeah.
right? For kids as young as 6 years old, all the way. Our oldest participant of TriFactor ever was 84,
Wow.
right? So naturally there are different disciplines and different distances.
Mm,
And TriFactor actually went in a little bit more than just going through within the sport. We went a bit broad, and we venture into thematic concepts.
yeah.
So working our TriFactor Kids right after COVID, we actually brought about different I would say sports mechanism, like a little bit of cycling, a little bit of ping pong, a little basketball, and followed by a run, and naturally ended off with a nice festival. We had about 4,000 people coming for the event right after COVID, and we saw that parents and kids interacting will bring sustainability in this, and a bit of bonding. And we're trying to figure out where is the sweet spot where we can motivate parents to take their kids out, right? It's at
Yeah.
events, right? And that starts and that pathway leads them to many other things.
Yeah.
On the other side of the spectrum, on the thematic side, we also spend time on sustainability, right? I believe that I was challenged very heavily at the start of this event that doing Great Green Run is not sustainable. Not doing anything is sustainable. Doing
Yeah.
an event is not sustainable. And I was trying to explain to them that this platform under our TriFactor sustainability arm was, do not just focus about what you save. It's about inspiring people about the mindshare of sustainability, bringing more like-minded communities about sustainability together.
Yeah.
And that was what inspired us to create Great Green Run back in 2023.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting for us to see that there were many non-runners coming to Great Green Run for the first time. And thanks, Michelle, for participating. I think it's
I'm a
quite
fan.
interesting to see runners like yourself, non-runners, coming into the same start line and the same finishing line at the event, and coming with one pledge and acting on it.
Yeah, it's one of my it's one of my favorites, partly because of the route. You know, I live down Sentosa, so being able to kind of come and do the marina and the barrage route is beautiful. But I love what it stands for, and what it means. And I love getting the wooden medal at the
Yes.
end. You know,
Yes.
it is a lot, and it's nice. It's a nice energy
Yes.
environment when you're on top of the barrage, just kind of waiting to go. It feels good.
No, we hope to continue to inspire more people. Learning, upgrowing about what sustainability is, especially when the Great Green Run, but more importantly, getting out there and finding your community, right? So finding your community, connecting. I talk about social accountability, putting that into your life
Yeah.
will really help you to level up.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And I can't believe, like, you know, there's when you spoke about the triathlons and that you're doing the aquathlon. Am I
Yes,
saying that right?
that's right.
You know, that feels so grassroots and local, right all the way up to, you know, something feels almost a bit international when you do the trifactors. You know, I'm sure you've got people flying in from all over the world to take
Yes.
part, right?
Yeah, so prior to COVID, we were structuring our trifecta across to give people a progression. Obviously, when we started in 2009, there were very grassroots focused, getting community to keep going. Some of them would like to take a different pathway to go faster, go further, and experience more destinations. So we took a leap of faith to expand trifecta into different countries. And we talk about Vietnam, we went to Thailand. And we were very fortunate to work with the government in China to host our world championships, our first world championships in 2018. Naturally, all world championships is broadcasted, it's prize money. There's a lot of festivalization of that. People qualify for world championships and then move on. Huge. I imagine it was very fulfilling and very thankful about the opportunity to bring I think it was about, if I'm not wrong, 35 different nationalities coming on, flying into China to race this place called Zhejiang in Qizhou, right? Most people prior to our event have never heard of this place in Qizhou, but for those who are in the TriFactor fans and you know who are you guys out there, and it's a most beautiful place, right? It's so serene. The roads are so well paved. The hospitality, they talk courtesy, and most importantly, good racing for those of you who want to have a good time. And with that, we wanted to make sure that people actually feel that they can stay within the TriFactor platform and grow within it. So a little competition is always important.
For anyone who's like listening and thinking, God, that this all sounds amazing, and it's, but I think there is something for everyone. And I think that's what's so incredible about your company is like, you're not just targeting those kind of elite athletes. There can be a challenge for you no matter what level you're at, but there is truly like something for everyone.
Yeah, so we did thematic partnerships with we did a Transformer run last year. I was very thematic for fans out there trying to come out for a 5K night run around Sentosa. We did a more challenging race course back in the Philippines, down in Subic. So there are different challenges, but when we get into different venues, we hope to activate locals to join us.
Yeah.
And I always say, we need the entire support system. So locals coming in, the support schools coming in, and they see and inspire, and they seek information and crave for growth. And with that, at one point of time, hopefully they will join the TriFactor bandwagon and be a fan.
How do you help people train for these events?
I think as a platform, we hope to collaborate with sports scientists. We hope to collaborate with coaches in the industry, institution, clubs, venue holders, and with this whole ecosystem, we point the right people in the right place, right? So there are programs that we do with coaches that they conduct clinics, workshops, community sessions, run along. So that they're free to join, right? We conduct workshops to understand how you can use data through our sports science lab to understand how you run faster or complete your first ultra marathon, right? So the LevelUP site will actually do a little bit of testing, right? So we point you to the sports scientists to give you a bit of analysis, and then with that you take the data to apply it to your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone is different.
I love this. And as you can tell, I'm double banding. I don't know if that's even a thing, but I'm Whoop and an Apple, and I'm tracking everything. I love the data side. And, for my runs, I do my lactate testing, my metabolic testing, my sweat testing. Tell me about the type of testing that you've done.
Yes.
Sell it to me. Come on.
So I think there are multiple type of testings to help. I will say anything that is in the body physiologically, and then in terms of your movement and capability biomechanically, right? So these are basics that you should look at, and then we touch about recovery and so on and so forth. We do many kind of testings, right? Lactate, basic lactate testing to give you a zone, so you with your wearables you don't go lost, all right? There, so testing is pretty basic. I think it's important for you to train smart. My mantra is to provide a platform that's accessible to all. So if I'm going to force you hours and hours to take you off your Netflix and trying to get onto a running treadmill and not giving you a purpose, that's going to be really difficult. But what if I change the approach to say, know your zones, come for a test, spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes at a specific training zone to achieve your training gains, right? And with little things you can do at your own time. If you need a coach, get a coach. There are many coaches that are very qualified in the market to motivate you and direct you along.
Yeah.
So lactate testing, sweat testing in this environment, in the humidity in Singapore, huge, right? A lot of people don't understand how losing sodium will impact your performance.
I was suffering from really bad headaches on the days I would run, and I was like, I don't understand. Like, I'm hydrated. I'm drinking 4 liters of water a day. I don't physically sweat a lot, so like I'm not dripping with sweat. Like, I don't understand. And it wasn't until I went and did my sweat testing that I realized actually I was losing, I think it was like 1,700 milligrams of salt an hour, which is huge. And so as soon as I realized that, I was like, actually, I need to be like, doubling up on my salt tabs. I need electrolytes. I probably need electrolytes even on days when I'm not training, because we're living in such a hot and humid environment. My body just wasn't used to it. As soon as I got the doses right, that's it. No more headaches.
Fantastic. I mean, a living example, and we are trying to use the LevelUP platform to educate more people. to come on board because everybody's sodium in their sweat is different. The concentration. Everybody's sweat rate is different under different humidity. If you race in a very cold climate in Tokyo marathon, it's perfect. You don't sweat a lot for those. But if you come on to other humidity countries like Singapore, you're gonna need that.
Yeah. What's amazing though, just touching on kind of Tokyo, is like when you're training here and you then go to a cooler climate to race, so much faster.
Absolutely.
It's like you're in brutal conditions here, but it makes you better.
But I mean, in brutal conditions you train, I think it's important to recover, right? A lot of people they especially when they jump on the bandwagon, I hear a lot of my community getting injured, or they take 3 months off, they couldn't recover, or they get sick, or virus attack their bodies and stuff like that because their immune is down because of overtraining. So it's about moderating and recovery, right? That's something we're proud of. With there are a lot of hacks in the market today with infrared, with cold water immersion, and so find one that fits you and find one that suits you.
And that's the reason why I finally bit the bullet and got the Whoop band, is because this year recovery is like my number one like objective. Like I want to learn how to recover because I'm of this kind of mindset. I've got this peak performance mindset. Very kind of type A. I can't let things go. Like I always have to be 100% all the time. Like I can't pull back, and I know I can feel physically exhausted a lot of the time, and I need to learn to recover. I need to learn to sleep. It's really hard when you've got that mindset. It's really hard.
And I guess with the data that you receive, it kind of moderate. You're gonna have bad days and good days throughout the year. There are a lot of unpredictable things beyond the control. But I guess it's about understanding and moderating. So being able to educate the community is important. So I mean, through workshops, sharing sessions, and also informal community gatherings, bringing more people into this whole active lifestyle really, really ties to my purpose in life.
And I think that's it. Let's talk about kind of the mission for this moving forward. It's huge. You've got a massive business on your hand, lots going on. We talk about doing a lot. How do you want this to evolve?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I always say we have, I run a business with 2 engines, right? So it's about, with the TriFactor, I would love to bring as many different communities of different levels. It doesn't matter you're a first timer. Doesn't matter if you have a history of medical. We want to address that and bring you into the right community and motivate you to go on. So TriFactor as a platform, through events, through the programs that we run, brings different communities together. In the LevelUP platform, the other engine that we run hopes to inspire more people to understand themselves better, like yourself. Providing the right data points through the testing that we do, through the therapy work to help to recover, and to the right training structure to optimize your time and maximize your gains. So building 2 engines in our platform will hopefully make the world a better place, get more people active, fight, prevent diseases that they are here killing people, and most important, enjoy life.
You've just made it today talking to you. You've made the thought of doing a triathlon much less intimidating. Made it feel more accessible for me, and made me maybe think, okay, maybe this is actually the event that I want to do this year. Maybe this is my year. Maybe
you have to. I mean, we have the TriFactor Freshman category. It's pretty accessible. It's a 200-meter swim. So for those of you who are not familiar, it's 4 laps around the pool. That's it. 4 laps around the pool. We have a 6-kilometer bike course, so you can finish it in 15 minutes, and a 2-kilometer run.
Okay,
right?
That feels good. Maybe that's it. I'm talking about recovery, and then I'm also talking about doing my first triathlon in the same breath. But maybe that's it. Maybe it is starting really small, and that being okay. I don't have to go straight in for an Ironman. It can be.
Yeah, I think bite-sized goals are important. Usually bucket lists, Ironman races and long distance racings is great to to click a bucket list, but it takes a lot of trade-offs I talk about. And if you don't get the right support systems, not many people can get there. And what we also see over the last decade or so is when we actually put our energy to get to completing that bucket list goal, it tapers off and a burnout, and then you move on to another place. So sustainability is also challenged.
Yeah.
Right. So TriFactor prides as a lifestyle, as a platform, you keep doing it. This is what seek growth within the platform and keep going
Yeah.
year on year.
And you've got the community behind it.
I'm very thankful for various communities that supported us, coaches, run club leaders, organization agencies and corporates that came aboard,
Yeah.
and sponsors of it naturally that make events happen. So and continue to inspire more people to come together and perform.
And something that you mentioned just a few minutes ago, and you mentioned right at the very beginning, is fun. And I think that's why this is you've been doing this for what, 20 years?
Yes, 20 years, about 20 years of my life. That's right.
But this is why it keeps going, and this is why, people will always come back because of the energy, because of the joy, and because of the fun that's to be had when you take part in these events,
I think it's important to enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
Right. I enjoy my work. I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy everything that I do, and that what gets me motivated to keep going. And it's similar to sports, right?
Yeah.
I use the analogy of off season and on season. When you get off season after a big race, you recover, you take some time off. The hardest part is to start, right? And that's where we start the on season. And the reason why it's so hard is because you're not as fit.
Yeah.
And then going for a run again is going to be a little bit tough. So bring it into an enjoyment level. Don't overdo it. My advice is a lot of burnouts happen because of high goals that are slightly a bit more stretched for the individual. So get your body tested. Know what you're ready for,
Yeah.
right? And I do 1 or 2 races a year just to enjoy the vibe about the achievement at the finishing line, the experience about and the conversations and the friends that I meet at the end of the day. So so find the right event for you.
Yeah.
It might not be a triathlon all the time. If you really like to run and can carry on running.
I think it also, it doesn't have to be a PB every time. And that's what I need to tell myself, that it's okay to just pull back and just run for fun, and just enjoy the experience, enjoy the energy, enjoy being with all of the people who are kind of on that same path and same goal.
Yes, it's depending on different times of your life. But having a PB is nice because it sets a nice shining star and target, and it gives a bit of focus on how you train. But leading up to the PB is not just one race that you do. You can do multiple races.
Yeah.
And through that journey, as we can speak, things will change and your course might evolve. And as I spoke to many of these TriFactor community over the last couple of years, and a lot of them stopped chasing PB, right? And it says, okay, I've done PBs for 6 years, and this is my lifestyle. I wanna inspire my family to join me at the finishing line. I want them to run with me on the weekend, and that became my purpose. It's more about the people around them rather than themselves, right? So it really depends, but it always start with a PB because it's measurable, it's clear, and then and we can work on it, right? But the influence of being able to bring more people along to this, it's going to be the what you lead by example, and people will see and they'll notice you.
I love that. Just that lead by example, and people will notice you.
So
I think that's you though. That's you, right?
I as a father of 3 kids, I love to do a little bit more. Hope one day that my kids will be proud of what I've done and follow me. Right?
One day. They're already, I know without knowing them, they're already incredibly proud of you.
Yeah, they're all in sports, so I'm very thankful for them trying to embrace this lifestyle and
Yeah.
hopefully inspire more people around.
Yeah. They're into sports because of the example that you set and the life that you lead as well. And
Yeah, so thank you. So it's gonna be, I will say things will change as
Mm,
different priorities in life go, and
yeah.
we see a lot of kids, including myself, right? We spent a competitive career, and then there's a significant break when we joined the corporate workforce,
Mm,
different priorities, and then we get back
yeah.
into that. So what we're trying to do is to minimize the breaks in your life so that you can continue to evolve
Yeah.
and lead an active lifestyle. Yeah.
Amazing. And so tell us about the events that you've got on this year.
Wow.
I know there's a
We are
lot.
very fortunate. Starting with TriFactor.
Yeah.
We as we mentioned, there are different thematic TriFactor events, and there's also the performance side. We kept our flagship event, TriFactor Triathlon, the freshman
Yeah.
category in July this year in Singapore. That's one of our main event we started since 2009. And this weekend, in January, we have two events on TriFactor. One, we try to bring different youth together at the school. So we run a series of four called the Youth Aquathlon League, where we go into different international schools and we run different aquathlon events. And with that, we also supported a new sport in canoeing. We
Okay.
believe that a lot of people don't just do one sport. If you're active and you're able, you like to pursue more. So we work very closely with the Singapore Canoeing Federation to bring about the Singapore Canoe Marathon around the Marina area. So
Wow.
it's going to be a 5K. Those of you who have never done a canoe marathon, we are very happy to bring about a yearly event every year in January. So next year, if you missed out this year, this weekend is a bit late, but why not in 2026, 2027, a canoe marathon? Across TriFactor, we have our countries will be hosting different TriFactor events. So very, very fortunate to work with Thailand, our first market overseas. We have 5 TriFactor events
Wow.
in Thailand. We do have our TriFactor Philippines is happening in February, just after the big Lunar New Year. That's happening on the 16th of February 2025 in Subic Bay, right? It's our 3rd edition. I was looking at some of the statistics about the number of people coming back to us. I was surprisingly shocked, right? That we have over 80% people coming on again to race in Subic Bay.
Oh,
Right, I
wow.
was like, wow, the numbers are amazing, very inspiring for us to keep us going. That this is the event for them. We're thankful for Vietnam, right? So we're gonna bring we've done our kids event in Vietnam. We're gonna bring back our championship event in Vietnam in August itself. In Malaysia in Johor, stay tuned. There'll be a nice duathlon championship in Johor in Malaysia itself. Um, yeah. So last but I should not forget our new partners, right? We have two new countries in TriFactor. This year we're gonna host our TriFactor in Taiwan, right? In November. That's a full triathlon event in Tainan, which is those of you who know Taiwan is in Tainan. That event is going to be one of our ending championship event. Start with Philippines and end in Taiwan. And then across the year we have races in China, Indonesia, and also in Malaysia and Philippines. Did I count that right?
Yeah.
And then, well, we're exploring something in Korea. Unfortunately, due to the political situation, we might need to delay a little things. But TriFactor Korea, we are very excited to anchor some of our plans in Korea and hopefully in Japan.
Amazing. Right. I'm
Yeah.
going to link to all of those below so that if anybody is interested, you can definitely sign up or at least kind of have a look more information.
Thanks, Michelle, and thanks for having me. I think it's amazing to see how sports participation has evolved.
Yeah.
I believe through education and inspiring more people to get out of the chair and get to the finishing line
Yeah.
is life changing. The more we see different communities embarking in this active lifestyle journey, it's great. One ask for the people, look around you, right? Look around you, and who's that 1 or 2 person that you can bring along to the finishing line,
Yeah.
right? And help them along the way. If you do need any help, just come look for us at TriFactor or even through our LevelUP platform. we will point you to the right direction.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a little bit more. So if everybody do their part, right, the world will be a healthier place. The world will be a happier place.
I'm not kind of exaggerating when I say like sport and sporting events changed my life. You know, I think I first signed up for a race. So I wasn't actually a very sporty kid. I was outdoorsy, you know, I was playing outside, but I wasn't sporty. And I didn't really do kind of any extracurricular sports activities. And it wasn't until I joined an advertising agency when I was, I think, 21. And the managing director said, look, everybody does the Great North Run, which is like, or the Great Manchester Run, and it's 10 kilometers, and you either walk it in an animal costume and collect money for charity, or you run it. But everybody in the agency does it. And I was like, okay. And I thought, you know what, I've never run before, but this is going to be my goal. I want to run it. And that was it. I got a trainer and I started running, and I got the bug, and I had such an incredible run, an event, and the atmosphere, the energy, the people, the experience, the sense of achievement, even the training I enjoyed. And that was it. That from that moment, I was like, okay, sold. This is why I love this. And I want to continue to do that.
What you need to do now is to pass the buck to somebody else.
Yeah, well, that's it, right? I know. My poor husband, like when we first moved here, I made him do a couple with me, and then he was like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's too hot.
Yeah.
But I've made some of my like closest friends here in Singapore. I've met them through training and through running and through, you know, our kind of boot camps and everything that we do. And I've just set up a girls WhatsApp group because we want to go to Korea. I've never been to Korea, and it's on my bucket list. It's one of the countries in Asia I haven't done yet. And so I'm like, right, let's go do a half marathon girls trip. We'll do a half marathon shopping and do some beauty treatments, and have a healthy girls weekend in Korea.
Yes. And that's your community. So and that inspired to take one step, a leap of faith to go to Korea. And naturally that was what we were trying to do. We can't do everything, and there are different motivation for different communities. Yeah. So that's why I seek our TriFactor community out there. Just bring one or two people along.
Yeah.
And I just want to call out to one of our TriFactor fans, Mr. Raymond Howe. He is recovering from his cancer treatment.
Wow.
He participated in our TriFactor races almost annually. And he's now podiuming, is top in his age category.
Amazing.
And then he went one full circle. He's passing the buck to his community, his nieces and everybody coming along. And it's not just about the race. It's about the preparation, about running together. It's about the conversation you have leading up to the race. How do you do this? What do you do? How do you manage your time? And that whole energy strengthens the bond within his family support system.
Yeah.
So he's inspiring. He inspired me, and I hope that he can inspire more people around to jump on the TriFactor bandwagon.
Oh, so good. Elvin, thank you so much.
Thank you
for your time
Michelle.
today. I've loved talking to you. I feel like this could have been a 2 or 3 hour conversation because I've still got like loads of questions about I just think what you're doing is magic. I really, really do.
Thank you.
And so just thank you for doing this for everyone out there. I think it's amazing.
Thank you for inspiring more people to come.
Thanks. Elvin, thank you for sharing your incredible journey with us today. Honestly, like your passion for sports and your commitment to making them accessible to everyone has been really, really inspiring. And I know our listeners are going to be really motivated by the story and eager to learn more about TriFactor all over Southeast Asia. So for those of you that want to unleash your inner athlete or connect with a supportive community or simply experience the joy of movement, be sure to check out TriFactor's website. We'll link to everything below and you can follow them on socials. Please feel free to ask Elvin any questions. I'm sure he'll be happy to respond. If you enjoyed today's episode, please let us know what you think. Add to the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and please share the Upward Spiral with any of your friends or family. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.